Welcome to the Zoe English Podcast. Let's improve your English together.
Oscar, you've been quiet since your call ended. Everything okay?
Okay, I need to say something, and it's going to sound crazy.
Go on. What happened?
I just finished a video call in English, 30 minutes, and afterward I sat there thinking, have I actually gotten better this year, or am I just stuck?
Stuck.
Yes, like I'm doing everything right. I study, I listen, I practice, but it feels like I'm running and the finish line just keeps moving.
Oscar, I want you to know something right now. That feeling, it has a name, and almost every English learner on the planet has felt it at least once.
Really? Even people who are really good at English?
Especially people who are really good at English. That's actually the surprising part.
Okay, now I'm interested. Tell me more.
Hi, everyone. I'm Zoe.
And I'm Oscar. And today we're going to talk about something a lot of learners feel, but almost nobody talks about openly.
That feeling of being stuck. That feeling of, I'm trying so hard, but I don't think I'm improving. If you've ever felt that, today's episode is for you.
Good, because I felt it about 10 minutes ago.
Perfect timing then. Let's get into it. So, Oscar, let's start here. Why do you think you feel stuck even though you're clearly practicing a lot?
Honestly, I think on the outside things look fine. I can have conversations, I can do my job in English, but inside I still feel nervous, unsure, like I'm waiting to be caught making a mistake.
That's such an important thing to say out loud. There's actually a name for this gap, the difference between how you look from the outside and how you feel on the inside.
What's it called?
Some coaches call it hidden anxiety. On the surface, meaning what people can see, you seem confident. You get through meetings, you get promotions, you sound fine.
But underneath the surface?
Underneath, you're uncomfortable, you're doubting yourself. And here's the strange part. The better your English gets, sometimes the worse this feeling gets, not better.
Wait, that doesn't make sense. Shouldn't I feel more confident the better I get?
You'd think so, right? But a lot of advanced learners describe hitting something like an invisible wall. They think, I can't apply for that job, my English isn't good enough, when their English is actually excellent.
Oh no, I think I've said that exact sentence to myself.
Most of us have, Oscar. That's the whole point of today. You are not alone in this, and there is actually a way out of it.
Okay, I need this way out, please.
We're getting there, but first, let's understand why this happens, because understanding the why makes the how so much easier.
Okay, so why does this happen? Why do we feel stuck even when we're clearly working hard?
A lot of coaches who work with learners say the same thing. It's pressure. When you put a huge amount of pressure on your English, constantly studying, constantly measuring yourself, the anxiety actually grows instead of shrinking.
So the more I stress about English, the more stressed I get about English. That's almost funny.
It really is a loop, isn't it? And it hits perfectionists the hardest.
Perfectionist. Let's spell that one out for our listeners.
Perfectionist. 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 It means someone who wants everything to be exactly right with no mistakes at all.
Yeah, that's me. If I say one wrong word in a sentence, I replay it in my head for the rest of the day.
I know that feeling too, Oscar. But here's the thing. English isn't a math test with one correct answer. It's a living, breathing tool for connecting with people.
A tool, not a test.
Exactly. And when you treat it like a test you must pass perfectly, every conversation feels dangerous instead of exciting.
So what's the fix? Just stop caring?
Not exactly. The fix is smarter than that. Are you ready for tip number 1?
I've been ready since the beginning of this episode.
Tip 1. Sometimes the best way to improve your English is to stop focusing on English directly.
Wait, that sounds backwards. How does ignoring English help me learn English?
It's not ignoring it, it's using it for something you genuinely enjoy. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone loves photography.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Instead of taking another grammar course, that person joins a local photography class taught in English. Suddenly, they're learning words like aperture, lighting, and composition, not because they memorized a vocabulary list, but because they needed those words to talk about something they love.
Oh, that's clever. The English just comes along for the ride.
Exactly. It stops feeling like homework and starts feeling like a hobby. And when something feels like a hobby, your brain relaxes. And a relaxed brain learns faster than a stressed brain every single time.
Okay, so if I love, say, cooking, I could join an English-speaking cooking class instead of another English app.
Exactly that. You'll naturally pick up words like chop, simmer, and season, and you'll be using real sentences with real people about something you actually care about.
I actually love this idea. It takes the pressure off.
That's the goal. Less pressure, more real use. Let's practice this idea for a second. Oscar, pretend you're in an English cooking class and someone asks what you're making.
I am making a tomato soup. It needs more salt, I think.
See? Simple, natural. And you weren't even thinking about grammar. You were thinking about soup.
I was very focused on the soup, yes.
And that's the whole trick. When your mind is on the activity, your English comes out more naturally because you're not watching yourself so closely.
Okay, that tip is great for someone who's already pretty advanced. But what about someone like me who still feels like they're at a middle level? I don't always feel like I'm hitting a wall. Sometimes I just feel like I'm not moving at all.
That's such a fair point, and it needs its own answer. Because when you're at an earlier stage, the problem isn't usually pressure, it's that progress is invisible.
Invisible. Yes, that's exactly it. I don't see myself getting better day to day.
Right, because language learning doesn't move in a straight line you can watch. It moves like a plant growing. You don't see it happening, but if you compare today to 3 months ago, the difference is huge.
So, how do I actually see that difference instead of just hoping it's there?
Tip number 2, track your progress on purpose. Don't wait for progress to announce itself. Go looking for proof of it.
Okay, how?
First idea, keep a small learning diary, just a notebook or notes app. Every week, write down one thing you understood that used to confuse you and one thing that was hard.
So, instead of feeling vaguely stuck, I have actual evidence in front of me.
Exactly. Second idea, record yourself speaking. Just a voice memo, 30 seconds, once a week. Talk about your day, your weekend, anything.
Oh, I hate hearing my own voice.
Everybody does it first, but here's the magic. Don't listen to it right away. Save it. Then, in 2 months, record another one and listen to both back to back.
Oh, so I'm comparing myself to myself, not to some perfect native speaker in my head.
Exactly right. And that comparison is almost always encouraging because you'll hear things you didn't notice. Smoother sentences, faster thinking, fewer pauses.
That actually sounds kind of exciting instead of scary.
It is. Think about learning a musical instrument. Nobody expects to play a full song perfectly in the first month. You celebrate the small wins, the first chord, the first full line.
So English is the same. First full sentence without stopping, first joke that actually lands, first time you understand a movie without subtitles.
Exactly, Oscar. Those are milestones.
Can we spell that word for everyone? Milestone?
Milestone. 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 It means an important point that shows progress on a long journey.
I like that. It makes the whole journey feel less like one giant impossible mountain and more like a path with little flags along the way.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And every flag deserves a small celebration, even if it feels tiny.
Can we talk about something else that's been on my mind? Sometimes I feel like I've been learning forever and it never actually ends. Is that normal?
Oscar, I need to tell you something important, and I want you to really hear it. Language learning genuinely never fully ends. Even native speakers keep learning new words their whole lives.
Wait, seriously? Even you?
Even me. I still learn new expressions all the time. Let's spell out this idea properly. Never ending.
Never-ending. Never ending.
Right. It means something that continues forever without stopping. And once you accept that English learning is never ending, something wonderful happens.
What?
The pressure disappears, because if it never ends, there's no deadline where you must be finished. There's no failure. There's only the next milestone.
Wow, that actually takes a huge weight off my shoulders. I think I've been secretly waiting to reach some finish line where I'm done learning English.
That finish line doesn't exist for anyone, in any language, and that's actually freeing once you accept it.
Okay, I'm starting to feel a lot better about all of this.
Good, because there's one more idea I want to share, and I think it will help you the most. Tape 3. Separate your confidence from your perfection.
What does that mean exactly?
It means you can feel confident speaking English while still making mistakes. Confidence isn't the reward you get after you become perfect. Confidence is a skill you can practice today at your current level.
So I don't have to wait until my English is good enough to feel confident?
No, and honestly, if you wait for that, you'll wait forever, because good enough keeps moving as you improve. It's a trap.
That's exactly what's been happening to me. Every time I hit a level I used to dream about, I just find a new, higher level to feel anxious about.
That's so common, Oscar. The goalpost keeps moving because your brain keeps comparing you to more advanced speakers instead of yourself 6 months ago.
Okay, so how do I actually practice confidence separate from perfection?
Simple phrase to remember. I can communicate even if I'm not perfect. Say that with me.
I can communicate even if I'm not perfect.
One more time, like you mean it.
I can communicate even if I'm not perfect.
Beautiful. Keep that sentence somewhere you'll see it. Your phone, a sticky note, anywhere.
Zoe, can I be honest about something else? I think part of my problem is I watch a lot of native English speakers online, and then I compare myself to them.
Ah, the comparison trap. I was wondering when we'd get here.
Is it that obvious?
It's extremely common, Oscar. Almost every learner does this at some point. You watch someone who has spoken English their entire life, and you compare their 20, 30 years of practice to your 2 or 3.
Oh, when you say it like that, it sounds a little unfair to myself.
It is unfair. It's like comparing someone who just started running to an Olympic athlete and then feeling disappointed you're not winning the race yet.
Okay, when you put it that way, it does sound a bit silly.
Let's spell out an important word here. Comparison.
Comparison. Comparison.
Curious. It means looking at two things side by side to see their differences. And comparison itself isn't bad. The problem is choosing the wrong thing to compare yourself to.
So what should I compare myself to instead?
Only one person. The you from 6 months ago or a year ago. That's the only fair comparison, because that's the only version of you who had exactly the same amount of practice time you've had.
That actually feels a lot kinder than what I've been doing.
It is kinder, and it's also more accurate. Here's a little challenge for you. This week, instead of watching a native speaker and feeling behind, think back to a conversation you had 6 months ago and compare it honestly to one you had this week.
Actually, I remember struggling so much with a simple phone call 6 months ago. I had to write down what I wanted to say before I even picked up the phone.
And now?
Now I just pick up the phone. I don't even think about it anymore.
Oscar, do you hear that? That's real, measurable growth. You just proved your own progress in one sentence.
I did, didn't I?
You did. And that proof was sitting right there the whole time. You just weren't looking for it because you were too busy looking at everyone else.
Can we go through a few quick questions? I feel like other learners probably wonder about these too.
I love this idea. Let's do a mini question round. Ask away.
Okay, question 1. What if I've been studying for years and I still feel like a beginner in real conversations?
That usually means your input skills, reading and listening, are ahead of your output skills, speaking and writing. It's very common because reading and listening don't require you to take a risk in front of another person.
So the fix is just speaking more, even if it's uncomfortable.
Exactly. Small, low-pressure speaking practice, like talking to yourself or a short voice message to a friend, closes that gap faster than any textbook.
Question 2. What if I only feel stuck in one specific situation, like phone calls or presentations, but I'm fine everywhere else?
That's actually really useful information because it means the problem isn't your English, it's that one specific situation. The fix there is to practice that exact situation on a small scale. Practice fake phone calls with a friend. Practice your presentation out loud alone 5 times before the real one.
So I'm not fixing my English, I'm fixing phone calls in English. That's a much smaller, easier goal.
Exactly. Big, vague goals feel impossible. Small, specific goals feel doable.
Last one. What if I feel motivated one week and then completely lose motivation the next week? Is something wrong with me?
Nothing at all is wrong with you. Motivation naturally rises and falls for everyone, in every skill, not just English. The learners who succeed aren't the ones with constant motivation. They're the ones with a small, steady habit that continues even when motivation disappears.
So the goal isn't to feel excited every single day.
No, the goal is to show up in small ways, even on the low motivation days. 5 minutes on a hard day is still progress. It's still a milestone, even a tiny one.
One more, if that's okay. What about my accent? Sometimes I feel embarrassed because I don't sound like a native speaker, no matter how much I practice.
I'm so glad you asked this one, Oscar, because it comes up so often. Here's the truth. Having an accent doesn't mean your English is wrong. It means people can hear the other languages you already know.
I never thought about it that way. I always saw it as a mistake to fix.
Think of it differently. Your accent is proof of everything you've already learned before English. It's not a flaw, it's a piece of your story.
So that's a really kind way to see something I've felt ashamed of for a long time.
The real goal isn't sounding like someone from London or New York. The real goal is being clear enough that people understand you comfortably. That's it. That's the whole target.
Being understood, not sounding like a native speaker.
Exactly. And most of the time, you're already hitting that target far more often than your anxious brain wants you to admit. Let's do a quick practice conversation so you can hear all of this in action. Oscar, pretend you just finished a work meeting in English, and a colleague asks how it went.
Honestly, it was okay, I guess. I made a few mistakes with tenses.
That happens to everyone, but did people understand what you meant?
Yes, actually. Everyone understood, and we agreed on the next steps.
Then it was a success. The goal of a meeting isn't perfect grammar, it's understanding each other, and that happened.
Oh, I like that reframe a lot. It was a success instead of I made mistakes.
That's the whole shift, Oscar. Same event, 2 totally different feelings, just depending on which part you focus on.
I'm going to try to catch myself doing that this week, focusing on the mistake instead of the success.
And when you catch yourself, just gently redirect. Ask yourself, did the message get across? If yes, celebrate that. Let's try one more practice round, a completely different situation this time. Oscar, imagine you're at a small shop and you want to ask the cashier for something, but you're a little nervous because it's your first time speaking English there.
Excuse me, do you have this in a bigger size, please?
Of course, let me check. What color would you like?
Blue, please. Or actually, do you have it in green, too?
We do. Both colors are in the back. One moment.
Okay, honestly, that felt fine. I didn't even notice I was speaking English halfway through.
That's exactly the sign we're looking for, Oscar. When you stop noticing that you're speaking a second language and you're just focused on getting what you need, that's real fluency happening in real time.
It's strange. I get so nervous imagining these situations beforehand, but once I'm actually in them, it's never as bad as I expected.
That gap between imagined fear and real experience is so common. The fear lives in your head before anything even happens. The actual conversation is almost always easier than the version you rehearsed in your mind.
So maybe the real skill isn't speaking better English. Maybe it's just starting, even when I feel nervous.
That might be the most important sentence of this whole episode, Oscar. Starting despite the nervousness is the skill. Everything else builds on top of that first step. Before we finish, I want to give you a small toolkit. 3 short phrases you can say to yourself, silently or out loud, whenever you feel that stuck feeling coming back.
I like toolkits. Give me the first one.
Calm, steady. Phrase 1, this feeling means I'm growing, not failing. Say it with me.
This feeling means I'm growing, not failing.
Calm. Phrase 2, I only compare myself to who I was before. Your turn.
I only compare myself to who I was before.
Calm. And phrase 3, small steps today are still real progress. Let's say it together.
Small steps today are still real progress.
Perfect. Keep these 3 phrases somewhere close. A note on your phone, a sticky note on your desk, anywhere you'll actually see them on a hard day.
I'm genuinely going to write these down right after we finish recording.
I love that. And here's one more small idea before we move to our final thoughts. Try teaching someone one thing you learned today.
Teaching? Like teaching English to someone else?
Even just explaining one idea, like milestone or the comparison trap, to a friend or family member, even in your own language, helps the idea stick in your mind much more deeply.
That makes sense. When you have to explain something clearly, you understand it better yourself.
Exactly. Teachers often say they learned their subject best by teaching it. You can use that same trick for your own English journey. Can I tell you a quick story, Oscar? I think it fits perfectly here.
I love your stories. Go ahead.
Gentle. A friend of mine, let's call her Maria, learned English for about 3 years. And for about 6 months in the middle of that journey, she felt exactly what you described earlier, completely stuck.
Oh, that's such a heavy feeling. I know exactly what that sounds like in my own head.
Worm. So instead of quitting, she tried one small thing. She started a tiny voice note journal, just like the idea we talked about earlier. 30 seconds, once a week, about anything at all.
Curious. And did it help right away?
Not right away, no. For the first month, she said it felt pointless. Nothing seemed different. But she kept going anyway because she'd promised herself just 5 minutes a week, and 5 minutes felt easy enough to keep.
Nodding. That's the small habit, even without motivation idea again.
Exactly. Then around month 4, she listened to her very first recording again, just out of curiosity, and she told me she actually laughed out loud.
Why?
Because the person in that first recording sounded so hesitant, so slow, choosing every word so carefully, and the person recording 4 months later sounded completely different, relaxed, quicker, more natural. She hadn't noticed the change happening day by day, but hearing it side by side, the difference was impossible to miss.
Wow, that gave me actual chills, Zoe.
She told me that moment changed everything for her. Not because her English suddenly became perfect, it wasn't, but because she finally had proof, real proof that the invisible growth had been happening all along.
That's exactly the proof I need too, I think. Something real, not just a feeling.
And that's available to every single person listening right now. You don't need to be advanced to start collecting your own proof. You just need 30 seconds and a little patience.
Zoe, is there anything I can change around my daily life, not just habits, but my actual environment to make this easier?
Absolutely. This is something people forget. Your surroundings can quietly support your English, even when you're not actively studying.
Give me an example.
First, simple one, change the language on your phone and your apps to English. You'll see the same words, settings, notifications, battery, storage, every single day without any extra effort.
I actually haven't done that yet. That feels like an easy win.
It really is. Second idea, label objects around your home with small sticky notes. Door, mirror, fridge, window. You see these words so often that they naturally sink into your memory.
That sounds a little bit like being back in a classroom, but in your own kitchen.
Exactly like that, but much more relaxed. Third idea, choose one small daily moment and decide this moment is always in English. Maybe it's brushing your teeth, maybe it's your morning coffee.
So during that one moment, I just think or talk in English no matter what?
Exactly. It's small, it's consistent, and it doesn't require extra time in your schedule because you're already doing that activity anyway.
Demerment. I think my moment is going to be my evening walk. I already walk for 20 minutes most days.
Perfect choice. 20 minutes of narrating your thoughts in English, even quietly, adds up to a huge amount of practice over a month without ever feeling like studying.
I like that this doesn't feel like one more task on my to-do list. It feels like it just fits into what I'm already doing.
That's the whole idea behind a supportive environment. It works quietly in the background, so your motivation doesn't have to do all the work by itself.
Zoe, one last question before we wrap up. What do you personally do when you feel stuck in something? Not even English, just anything.
Honestly, I remind myself that feeling stuck usually isn't proof that I've stopped growing. It's usually proof that I've grown enough to notice the next challenge.
Oh, that's a nice way to look at it.
Think about it. You can only feel like you're not improving fast enough once you already know enough to notice small details. A beginner doesn't feel that pressure because they don't yet know what they don't know.
So feeling stuck is actually a sign of progress, not a sign that I've failed?
Exactly. It usually means you've leveled up enough to see a harder level ahead of you. That's not failure, that's growth.
Okay, I really needed to hear that today.
I'm glad. And remember, you don't have to solve everything today. Just pick one small idea from this episode and try it this week.
I think I'm going to start the recording myself idea. 30 seconds a week.
I love that choice. In 2 months, come back and tell us what you noticed. Let's do a full recap before we go, because we covered a lot today. Number one, sometimes the best way to improve English is to stop focusing on English directly and use it for a hobby you love instead.
Number 2, track your progress on purpose. Keep a diary or record yourself speaking so you can actually see how far you've come.
Number three, separate confidence from perfection. You can feel confident today at your current level, mistakes and all.
Number 4, avoid the comparison trap. Only compare yourself to who you were before, not to someone with decades more practice than you.
Number five, remember our 3 self-talk phrases. This feeling means I'm growing, not failing. I only compare myself to who I was before, and small steps today are still real progress.
Number 6, try teaching someone else one idea from this episode. Explaining it out loud helps it stick in your own mind.
And number 7, shape your environment. Change your phone language, label a few objects at home, and pick one daily moment that's always in English.
And remember, feeling stuck usually means you're growing, not failing.
Beautifully said, Oscar. 7 simple ideas, but even trying one of them this week can genuinely shift how you feel about your own progress.
If this episode helped you feel a little less alone today, please give it a like. It genuinely helps more learners find this video.
And if you're new here, subscribe to Zoe English Podcast. We post new episodes to help you speak English more naturally and more confidently, one small step at a time.
We have a question for you today. In the comments, tell us what is one small win with your English that you're proud of, even if it feels tiny.
We read every single comment, and honestly, your answers might become the next episode.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us.
Keep going, keep practicing, and remember, you're already further along than you think.
See you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye for now.